Welcome in, friends. Another edition of Dirty Air on your Thursday Easter weekend on the horizon as we look out beyond as to what's to come. Thank you all for being a part of the program. Rodney Rodriguez with all of you guys as we are live on Racing America and across the RPM sports media platforms. Lots of really good stuff that we have coming up here in just a little bit. I think it probably about 7 minutes out, we're going to talk to Kasey Kleyn that's going to join me, one of the great young up-and-coming super late model racers that has come south over from the Washington part of the country, so way the hell up there, coming way down here. We'll talk about his schedule. We'll talk about his Rattler and obviously his weekend at Pensacola this past weekend. And then as one of the things that I've been talking about throughout here on Dirty Air throughout the year, of course, I am doing the 2024 Short Track Spotlight is something that I'm doing. And I'm really excited to get to do this one because I'm going to feature Magnolia Motor Speedway. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with that jewel over in Mississippi, but that one happens to be owned and operated by a gentleman by the name of Johnny Stokes, who will be headed to the National Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame. He's a 2024 inductee, and so I get a double on this deal here when I talk to Mr. Stokes. Not only are we going to talk to him about that brilliant, beautiful facility out there in Mississippi, but we're going to get to talk a little bit of racing history as well with Mr. Stokes. So very excited about that. That's probably going to be towards the bottom of the hour at the 25, 27, 30, somewhere in that area. As always, the show presented by Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet GM Performance. Of course, that is your spot for the best, the absolute best customer service, the best prices, the best inventory that you're going to find on your GM parts, crate engines, whatever it is that you're looking for. You need to get a hold of Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet GM Performance in Brandon, Mississippi, and you will be very well taken care of. I promise you, you can bet your bottom dollar on that. Before we dive into the guest list, I do want to talk about some stuff coming up this weekend. This is a really big weekend, I think, as for short track racing fans. Obviously, Easter's one of those weekends to where I remember, when I was a kid growing up, there wasn't really a lot of racing that was going on around the Easter weekend, and a lot of times even like NASCAR would take off the Cup Series. But yeah, it's kind of things have modified. I can tell you right here in Texas, we've got a stacked weekend. And just looking around at some of the different things that around the Southeast, along the Gulf Coast, racetracks are in full throttle position right now where everybody's blowing and going. And I really think it's cool that we have especially on an Easter weekend. I really think that it's pretty badass is really the only way to say it, that we have one of our guys. I mean, hey, look, I am not only a fan of Bubba Pollard is a friend of mine. So anytime that you get an opportunity, that I get an opportunity to talk about something that Bubba Pollard is doing, it's a really cool thing. And of course, Bubba Pollard will be Saturday at Richmond at the 3/4 D-shaped short track, as they call it. I think it's a good landing spot right there. Bubba Pollard behind the wheel of the Junior Motorsports number 8. And I think that's really going to be an opportunity for all of us. I mean, for all of us, whether you're a dirt track aficionado, a asphalt aficionado, whatever it is, if you're a short track racing person, to see one of these guys like Bubba Pollard, to get the opportunity to be able to do what he's doing there this weekend, I think is really fantastic. And best of luck right there. I saw, you're going to jump on the socials and you're going to look and you're going to see, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. I say it all the time, and I shoot straight from the hip. And thank goodness Racing America just kind of lets me say what I say. And it's like, assholes and opinions. Everybody has them. And, there's some folks where it's like, well, saying whatever. Here's the bottom line, guys. It's one of our dudes, and he's getting in some of the best equipment that you're going to find in I would say, the second Premier Series in North America. And I'm putting the Xfinity Series ahead of IndyCar because IndyCar can't get out of their own way, it seems like. But that's for a different discussion. I'll let you guys know my Texas Sports Unfiltered show, and I'll give my details on all that. But the fact that Bubba's going to be right there representing, he's going to be representing all of us. And we've already watched it. We've watched it to where our guys get opportunities to do things, and they go and they show out. And there's no reason that I don't think that Bubba won't be doing that this weekend. So best of luck to Bubba and the family as they go out there and represent all of us. They're going to be carrying a lot of us. Our names may not be on that Junior Motorsports number 88 car, the Ream number 88 Chevrolet, but I think there's going to be a lot of hearts and there's going to be a lot of go get 'em, dude. Sorry, that sounded kind of weak. There's going to be a lot of go kick ass from we short track people as Bubba hits the racetrack over there at Richmond. Hey, guys, I would love your comments throughout the program. And you guys feel free to chime in, whatever platform that you're checking in on. And all of these podcasts, the podcasts are available at iTunes, on Google Play, just the audio versions of this. You can actually go to RodneyRodriguezSports.com, and everything is right there. The latest edition of this show is there. And, of course, on Racing America, they archive everything at racingamerica.tv. This past weekend at Pensacola, you had a great doubleheader that was happening right there with Cole Butcher winning over Stephen Nasse and Gio Ruggiero. Nice battle right there with Cole Butcher. I've got Butcher, whatever. With Cole winning that race right there, just another great run for him, dominating fashion, winning there at Pensacola. And kind of Bubba in the warm-up on Saturday night, right there running a nice third-place run for him with Gio winning, William Sawalich, and then Pollard in the third spot there at Pensacola. So that was the second ASA Stars race that you had there, not the night that Bubba was looking for, or the afternoon that Bubba was looking for in the ASA Stars race, but pretty good run right there in the ARCA car as he's getting some practice in these big cars as he gets set to go into the Xfinity car. And this is, I honestly, in my opinion, right here before we get to Kasey, I would like to see Bubba in a Cup car, because I think you put Bubba Pollard in a Cup car, because that's elbows up, ass in the seat, and white knuckle. I think you put Pollard in one of those, and he would beat a lot of those dudes that we watch every Saturday or Sunday or whenever you want to call it. I think, but put him in one of these Xfinity cars, because from what I've been told, I've talked to a lot of guys that run Xfinity cars, and these are the ones that you can really get up on the wheel and that you can really do some cool stuff with. So Pollard behind the wheel there at Richmond coming up on Saturday. So that's going to be really cool to see. As I said, carrying the torch, carrying the flag, carrying it for all of our short track brethren and sisterin that are going to be doing all of that. Again, great show coming up, and let's get fired off right here. Let's dive in and talk to, and it's a really cool show on Thursday, because what we're doing is we're talking to a young dude, and then we're talking to a very veteran Hall of Fame type of guy on Dirty Air here on your Thursday. Great program that we have for you this Thursday. As we're on Thursday, didn't think we were going to be on Thursday on Racing America, but some things kind of changed up. Orange Crush 200 kind of pushes itself out to tomorrow, so we are in our normal time slot. So doing what we do right here on Dirty Air. Let's dive in and let's talk some racing. That's what we're here for. And super excited to be joined. And of course, every time that we have a guest here on the program, it is presented by Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet GM Performance right there out of Brandon, Mississippi. And diving on with me here into the Dirty Air on your Thursday, it is Kasey Kleyn. Kasey, how we doing, sir?
Good, and yourself?
I'm doing well, sir. I'm doing well. First of all, because I know, like, when we were coordinating everything to get the interview done, tell me what a day in the life of Kasey Kleyn is like, because you just turned 16. So it's not so you got a lot of things going on other than just racing.
Yeah, I pretty much take my sister and myself to school, do school, take her home, take her to wherever she needs to go, do all my homework, just keep myself entertained.
Yeah, yeah, I bet. No doubt about that. So, Kasey, let's dive in. Let's kind of talk about your history. I mean, your dad, obviously racing late models there, and then you know, with junior limiteds, pro late models. How has the progression kind of come along for you? And the other part, I mean, you in Washington, so kind of a different stuff there from what we're used to down south.
Yeah, I kind of just started out in bandos. I did like 2 races in go-karts actually, but I broke my thumb in my first race, and so I kind of just put that completely off and had to just skip to bandos, and we ran those for about 2 years. I won the championship my last year in them. Then once I was old enough, I ran junior late models, and then jumped into pro late model about 2 years after running junior late models, but I was still running both of them. And then I went into from pro late models to super late models. I believe it was 2 years ago. I ran my first super late model race.
Yes, sir. So, kind of talk about the differences right there. I mean, with the super late model, we talk to guys all the time, and it's like, that accelerator, you hit that gas and it goes. Where with the pro, it's more momentum based. So how has that move been for you to kind of graduate up into a super?
At first it was kind of hard, but now that I've raced both of them, I prefer racing a super. I feel like it's a lot easier to drive. You don't have to be so perfect every lap, and it's just not as much of a momentum deal and more of a driver type of deal. It's just I feel like it's a lot easier to have the horsepower. The stakes aren't as huge as it would be in a pro.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, what was the bigger deal for you a couple of weeks back? Of course, March 15th, I believe it was. You turned 16. So you guys were down south for the Rattler. So a bigger deal getting your driver's license or racing at South Alabama Speedway there in the Rattler?
I think it was a bigger deal racing in the Rattler. That was a fun time. The track's really cool. First time there, and they put on a really good show. For what it is, I was not expecting it at all. Just kind of in the middle of nowhere, but it's a really nice track. They do a great job there.
Isn't that the weird thing? I know the first time that I went to South Alabama, I'm driving along. I'd flown into Florida, and I'm driving, and I'm like, "Where's the racetrack?" And it really is. I'm looking around, and I'll be damned, there it is, right there, on the left side. I was like, "Wow, a racetrack out in the middle of nowhere."
Yeah, it just kind of pops up out of nowhere, and then even for being in the middle of nowhere, the track surface is actually really nice.
hmm So let's talk about obviously that race, and then the Sunshine State 200 at Pensacola. So coming over south, how's it been for you diving in? Because racing supers with these guys, on the Stars Tour, and they're with UARA. I mean, you're racing the best of the best in the country.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to just jump right in with them, especially there at the Rattler because that's such a big race. But the good thing was we got plenty of practice, and so I was able to get the car about where we wanted it, get it working. We didn't have a very fast car in qualifying, but we knew it was going to race well. But about 30 laps into the race, my brakes ended up starting to fade, and so I just didn't have very much brakes getting on the corner, so it just kind of ruined the whole race. I couldn't slow down, make the car do what I wanted it to. So we only ended up finishing, I think, 12th in that race, which is not bad for barely having any brakes. And then we went the next week to the Sunshine State 200 at Five Flags, and that track's way harder than you'd ever imagine. There's so much competition. Everybody wants their stuff absolutely perfect there, so they know what to do for the Derby, and so it's just really hard to get adjusted in a super there and get our setup right. We just didn't have as much practice as we would have liked, and so we just kind of ended up yard selling the car right before qualifying. Got it a lot closer where we wanted it, and we were able to move up in the race. We were actually getting the car a lot better, making it work, being able to pass people. And then about lap 75, I believe it was, right around the first stage break, we ended up having a rear end seal go out. we could have probably continued on, but we just didn't want to take the chance on burning up the rear end.
Yeah. So Kasey, you guys, I mean, you're out of Quincy, Washington. You're from way up north. So why the journey down south? To do super racing here. I know there's great racing up there in the Northeast and the Northwest. What's kind of the mindset with you and your team to come race along the East Coast and the southern part of the United States?
The competition. There's a lot more competition, a lot more cars at every race, and then a lot of the cars are the best of the best. Like, we don't have as much money, I would say, into racing around here. Like, a lot of the people back east all have like brand new Port Cities or Hamkeys, and around here we got people running older cars, so there's just more money, more competition, and then there's a lot more exposure running with these guys because they're the biggest names you get in super late model, because you got Bubba Pollard and all those guys, and so when you can run with them and all the races are televised, it just shows a lot more of what you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And so far, how has the reception been for you down here? Like you're talking about, I mean, there's a lot of veteran guys up here. Some of the best that you're going to find. You're a younger driver, very established driver at a young age. How has the reception been from the competitors along the East Coast?
I think it's been pretty good. I don't really talk to too many people. I just try to stay in my lane, focus on my deal.
Yeah.
Just get done what I got to get done with my racing. Try not to make anyone mad. Make as many friends along the way as I can. But when it comes down to it, I'm just there to race and do my job.
There it is. So let's talk about the rest of the schedule for your race team. I've got that pulled up right there. You got the two South races out of the way. Tri-City coming up. Then you've got Wenatchee coming up a little bit later on at WSO. Looks like you're hitting some of the biggest races in the country right there for you and your race team.
Yeah, that's kind of our goal, to hit the biggest races we can. We got the Apple Cup coming up, which is one of the biggest races we got around here, and that's a fun track. We have our car really dialed in there. We won the pro race at the Fall Classic there last year, got second in the Super at the Fall Classic, so we're hoping we can go do good there.
Yep, absolutely. And then it looks like you kind of going back and forth a little bit there. You've got State Line Speedway. You got some ARCA West in there. And then working towards the end, finishing the year out. I know you did it last year, but back to Pensacola. So kind of the end goal right there, it looks like, for you.
Yeah, the end goal is just go down to 5 flags and do the best you can.
Yep, absolutely. You're off to a great start, my man. Happy belated birthday. Congratulations on the events that you have so far, and keep doing what you're doing, man. We hope to have you back on Dirty Air again very soon.
Yep, thank you for having me.
You got it, man. Take care. There he is, Kasey Kleyn. Great conversation we had with him yesterday there as he prepares. Just continuing to, it's one of those things to where we were kind of talking offline a little bit, with the move down south, like he talked about. He's wanting to come in and be a part of, where the best super racers are. I mean, in his opinion. And again, kind of the conversation that I was having there with him is that, I mean, you got a lot of good stuff happening up in the Northwest and the Northeast. But if you look at that schedule that we were looking at right there with him, he's kind of dipping into a bunch of different buckets right there to where he's going to continue to, I think, progress and doing a really good job. He's doing a good job of taking care of his race car and doing a good job of just getting finishes. And that's the main thing when you get into these loaded fields of super late models. Right quick, before we take a quick break, there is your QR code for your Dirty Air merchandise. I'm obviously in the Dirty Air polos right here, courtesy of On Demand Shirts. That's over in San Antonio, Texas. They have Dirty Air polos. They have Dirty Air, or not the polos. They have Dirty Air t-shirts, caps, hoodies, all of that available right there. You can also get the stuff for the Texas show, for the Revved Up show. And again, like I always say, that QR code takes you right to the online store if you want to sport some of this stuff. So feel free to do that as well. And on-demand shirts in San Antonio, they will definitely take care of all of your needs for your racing team as well. Coming up, we go to our 2024 short track spotlight. That is coming up. And as I mentioned right there, really cool to be doing this today because the plan for me was that I thought that I was going to be on the air on Wednesday is what I had planned. So I had to do a lot of shifting around because we had some changes right there with the Rogers Heating and Cooling Orange Crush 200 as that is pushed to tomorrow. So thank you all that may have found me today because you were maybe waiting for yesterday, and I wasn't on yesterday. So thank you all for that. I hope you caught the announcement. But coming up, man, we're doing that short track spotlight, and we are talking to a Hall of Famer. That is coming up right here on Dirty Air. Clean air is good. Times like this, friends. Dirty air just a tad bit better on your Thursday evening right here. Baseball opening day, Sweet 16 for the March Madness tournament.
I'm Jeff Burton.
I'm Ward Burton. Please join us March 28th for the Rogers Heating and Cooling Orange Crush 200.
Ward and Jeb join regional late model stars and the Rogers Heating and Cooling Orange Crush 200 benefiting the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation. Limited pre-sale tickets available for a discount until March 22nd or buy at the gate on race day. It's the Orange Crush 200 Thursday, March 28th at Orange County Speedway, and you can see it only on racingamerica.tv. Short Track U.S. Nationals are back on Saturday, April 6th for one last lap around the legendary high banks of Bristol Motor Speedway. Come see over 200 of the best grassroots racers in North America from the Vors Compact Touring Series, CRA Street Stocks, and Midwest Modified Tour. It's the Short Track U.S. Nationals, the last lap at Bristol Motor Speedway on Saturday, April 6th, and you can only catch it on Racing America. March 30th for the Georgia Pro Late Spring Nationals. The South's best pro late model racers take on the short track in the Watermelon Patch, along with Pure Stock, Crown Vic, Legends, Bandoleros, and more. It's the Georgia Spring Pro Late Nationals, Saturday night, March 30th at the newly christened Cordele Motor Speedway. Racing starts at 6, and you can see it only on racingamerica.tv.
Racers are dedicated to winning, and Chevrolet Performance's 3 factory-sealed Circle Track crate engines can help you get to the checkered flag first. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a touring hero, on dirt or pavement, Chevrolet Performance Circle Track crate engines are engineered to win, right out of the box.
Good stuff coming up as Dirty Air rolls on right here on your Thirsty Thursday. Glad you are with us. And again, glad that we are on Thursday. Thought we might have the Thursday off, but it's all good that we are off and rolling, and we're going back in like I've talked about. And I'm going to pull it up right here. This is the 2024 Dirty Air Short Track Racing Spotlight. And this one just happened to work out so cool that not only do I get to do the 2024 Racing Spotlight and showcase yet another great track, and this one over in Mississippi, but man, I get to talk to a Hall of Famer, a legend. Let's welcome into the Dirty Air on your Thursday afternoon. It is Mr. Johnny Stokes. Mr. Johnny, how we doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing great for old man. How y'all?
Oh, Johnny, man, I tell you. So I know we talked yesterday. So where the hell are you? Yeah, you're on the road today, aren't you?
No, I'm sitting here in my driver's suit. We finna go out and hot lap here in a minute.
Oh shit!
We're practicing tonight at Needmore Speedway in close to Tifton, Georgia.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So I won't keep you too long. I didn't realize that you were actually going to be on track. All right. So I do want to talk to you right quick. First of all, let's talk about your racetrack. Let's tell everybody about everything that you have going on at Magnolia. That is one beautiful racetrack. I got to go by there with my friend Benny Hopkins. That is a beautiful facility that you have out there.
Well, we thank you. Coming up I don't remember the exact dates, but the 11th weekend of April, we're in our Golden Egg Spring Classic. It's a big street stock race. We have 1,000 win on Friday night, 3,000 win on Saturday night. It's always a good show and a lot of cars. And just love everybody to be out there with us.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about that. And it's a good looking place. Kind of talk about some of the, because what I like to do is promote the regular stuff that you have out there. I mean, I know you have special events and so forth. I know you've had one race, but your regular classes, what all do you have going on out there
We have
at
we
Magnolia?
have the crate racing 604 late models, the crate racing 602 Sportsman, uh, crate racing street stocks, and then we have the factory stocks, hot shots, and crate racing modified Sportsman.
Oh man, that's a good lineup right there. So I do want to ask you, Mr. Johnny, how cool for you? I mean, I know that you're going into the National Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame coming up in 2024, and that is a stacked bunch of people that's in there for you. How cool is that for you? Because you have had one hell of a career. I know you've got probably over 5, 6, 700 feature race wins. How cool for you to be recognized that way?
Well, it's amazing and really cool and a big honor to get that kind of honor for something that you love. So uh, that's really a good thing. Words just can't describe it. I'm just proud to be in it.
Yeah, no doubt about it for sure. So how great for you. I mean, you're talking about right now getting ready to dive out there and go do some hot laps. You're still in a really badass looking street stock. That flame never burns out, does it? You always kind of want to be behind the wheel.
It don't. When I told them when I can't get in it by myself, I'm gonna quit. I just turned 70 back in November, so we're still doing it. And we're still competitive, so we're having a good time.
Yes, sir. So what all are you doing this year, sir? Besides running the racetrack right there, are you going to run some street stock races? Do you
Oh
travel? I
yeah,
mean,
we'll run some of the big street stock races, and then I don't run much weekly stuff, but that's kind of my getaway. The race car, get away from the racetrack, and everybody's just me and it when we out there. So that's my getaway, and we still enjoy it and just love it, and we have a great time at Magnolia on our weekly races and stuff. We have good fields and good fans and great drivers. So if you anybody ever gets a chance, come by and check us out.
no doubt about it. And the last thing that I'll ask you, seriously, I didn't know you were going to hot laps. So for you, I mean, you've been a racer. When you go over to operating a racetrack, and a lot of people do that. That's what keeps racetracks alive. It's guys like you that make that over the fence thing to go run the racetrack. How talk about that? People don't understand how hard that shit is. I mean, to operate the racetrack, man, that is a call of duty right there, a labor of love.
And it takes a dumbass to do it, but I'm one of them. You got to be crazy to do it. But I think the reason it works out for me, I raced late models all over the country for years. I've been racing since 1970. And when I started running a racetrack, I tried to do the stuff I liked at the tracks I went through and tried not to do the stuff I didn't like, and it's worked out real good for me. Been doing it about 21 years now.
Isn't that the thing, Johnny? I always talk about when you get somebody that doesn't know anything, that hasn't raced, that hadn't done any of that shit. They try to run a racetrack and they don't know what they're doing. It takes a racer, it takes a racing person to really get in there with some good funding to be able to get in there and make one of these places succeed.
Say it one more time. What's what?
When you talk about, I mean, I know a lot of people try to go in and run a racetrack, and they may not have a racing background. They don't know what's entailed with doing this. But when somebody like yourself that's been involved with racing, that's what it takes to operate a racetrack successfully, in my opinion.
Well, I'm one of the drivers. So, but the biggest advice I could give somebody trying to run a racetrack don't listen to the drivers, because everybody's got a different opinion. You got to do your thing and do what you say, and you won't have near the problem. We don't have a lot of problems at our racetrack, and I think that's why. And I'm not no hard ass or nothing, but I get along with him and talk to anybody. But you just gotta draw a line there. You just gotta do your thing and just treat folks right, and everything will be okay. It's just so much work goes into a racetrack. People just don't realize how much work it takes for a racetrack, but we love it, so that's what we signed up for.
How hard is it, Mr. Johnny, when somebody walks up to you and says, "Man, I thought we were friends"? You know when they get a bad call and they're like, "Hey, we're friends" or whatever, and it's like, "Sorry."
First 2 years I'd done it, that really bothered me. I couldn't sleep at night because of that. One night I told the good Lord he'd take that away from me, and he did, and it hasn't bothered me since. So that's the best way I can tell you.
I love it. I love it. That is so great to hear, because that's what it really takes. Okay, Mr. Johnny, I'm going to let you get on that racetrack and go hot lap that thing and kick some ass this weekend. And
we'll talk to you again sometime. Get on a video with you.
Yeah,
I'll tell you some good stories.
Okay, perfect. We'll do a whole hour. Hour.
There you go.
MagnoliaDirt.com. Good luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. I'm going to come see you in person.
Good deal. Thanks so much.
You got it. Take care.
Bye.
You bet. There he goes, my man, Johnny Stokes. And that's something that I've been trying to put together for a lot of weeks. There's been about 3 weeks that Johnny and I were back and forth and trying to get that done. And when I talked to him last night, he said, "I'm going to be on the road. I think I could do it." He said, I just want to showcase the racetrack. It was more for him, all about being able to talk about Magnolia, and magnoliadirt.com is the place to check out. I got to tell you, I was actually there in Mississippi doing some stuff with my partners over at Rogers Dabs a couple of months ago, and we drove by there. It was a horrible day. It was a gross day that we were out in the weather, and we pulled into that place. It's right off of I don't know what road that is. I'm not familiar with that. But man, we pulled in there, and that is such a gorgeous facility. And that man right there, over 500 wins that he has in dirt track late model racing. And I'm going in here. Let's you can take a look. You can go to I can't even tell you what that website is, but the 2024 class of dirt track late model Hall of Fame inductees. Take a listen to these names: Todd Andrews, Al Perkey, Ricky Weeks, and my man right there that we just talked to, Johnny Stokes, who's about to dive into a street stock and go out and do his business. Some others that are going in, contributors that they're doing there, Steve Baker, Greg Fiedlin, and Todd Turner. And this is a National Dirt Track Late Model Hall of Fame that is stacked with names that you go in there and look at that, and these are some of the best of the best. So that conversation that we just had right there with that man, with Johnny Stokes, that is something that is super special, and we will get him back on here when he is off, and we will dive in and tell some real stories. Again, your racetracks, I want to showcase them right here on Dirty Air Racing Show at gmail.com. Let me know your racetrack. Let me showcase your racetrack, and let's talk about the stars of your track, because that's really what it's all about. Next time we have him on, we're going to talk about the drivers that are doing really cool things at his place, and that is Mr. Johnny Stokes. Pretty cool stuff right there as he's getting ready to go into the car. You guys stick around. I'll take you into your Easter weekend. We'll preview a couple of different things and get you off and rolling. Clean air is good. Times like this. Thursdays, 6 p.m. Central. Dirty Air, just a tad bit better. More coming up. March 30th for the Georgia Pro Late Spring Nationals. The South's best pro late model racers take on the short track in the Watermelon Patch, along with Pure Stock, Crown Vic, Legends, Bandoleros, and more. It's the Georgia Spring Pro Late Nationals, Saturday night, March 30th at the newly christened Cordele Motor Speedway. Racing starts at 6, and you can see it only on RacingAmerica.tv. Short Track U.S. Nationals are back on Saturday, April 6th for one last lap around the legendary high banks of Bristol Motor Speedway. Come see over 200 of the best grassroots racers in North America from the Vors Compact Touring Series, CRA Street Stocks, and Midwest Modified Tour. It's the Short Track U.S. Nationals, the last lap at Bristol Motor Speedway on Saturday, April 6th, and you can only catch it on Racing America.
Racers are dedicated to winning, and Chevrolet Performance's 3 factory-sealed circle track crate engines can help you get to the checkered flag first. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a touring hero, on dirt or pavement, Chevrolet Performance circle track crate engines are engineered to win, right out of the box.
I'm Jeb Burton.
I'm Ward Burton. Please join us March 28th for the Rogers Heating and Cooling Orange Crush 200.
Ward and Jeb join regional late model stars and the Rogers Heating and Cooling Orange Crush 200, benefiting the Ward Burton Wildlife Foundation. Limited pre-sale tickets available for a discount until March 22nd or buy at the gate on race day. It's the Orange Crush 200, Thursday, March 28th at Orange County Speedway, and you can see it only on RacingAmerica.tv. Of course, that was the one change that we had in the schedule, as I was going to be a Wednesday night show. That race, the Orange Crush 200, has actually been moved over to Friday. So you can catch that on RacingAmerica.tv. So be sure and be a part of that. Just some names that I want to talk about on the entry list for that as we go into your Easter weekend. And again, a big happy Easter, a blessed Easter to everyone as we go into that special time of the year. But I mean, when you talk about Barry Beggarly, the Southern Gentleman is one of the names that you look at right on top of the driver's list right there, the entry list. This is a guy that you go back to all the way back to 1993, and that's the old days when the NASCAR Winston Weekly Racing Series, if you want to call it that, that was national championships back then. I know here in San Antonio, in Texas, we had 2 NASCAR weekly tracks. At one point, it was Heart of Texas Speedway in Waco, which Paul White winning some championships there, and I'll actually be at Heart of Texas Speedway tomorrow. Hotspeedway.com, by the way, doing some races tomorrow. So, but you think about that. I mean, all the way back to 93 and this invitational. And that was, I even raced at, I guess still at that time, it was Thunder Hill Raceway, racetrack out in Kyle, back when the ASA weekly member tracks were kind of one of the weekly things that took over at that point, and Beggarly winning in 2011. He was the national champion there with the ASA member track. So that's one of the top names that you look at right there that's going to be a part of the Rogers Heating and Cooling Orange Crush 200. Of course, talked about the Burtons. I mean, we've run that spot there a couple of different times with Ward making his way back out, first time behind the wheel of a race car, and he gets an extra day. He gets an extra day to kind of think about it. And Jeb's going to be a part of that as well. I mean, that's going to be such a really cool race for those two. And with the money and so forth going to the foundation. I think it makes it even better, with the star power that you can have in there. But I mean, looking at the different names, I mean, you got Logan Clark, you got Terry Deese, a 5-time champion at Orange County that's going to be a part of this, and that's something where you look at it, and that's going to draw the locals, that's going to draw people in, to not only see Beverly and Deese, but I mean, you just go down the list. I mean, Katie Hedinger is going to be a part of this race as well. One of my dudes here from Texas, Caden Honeycutt, will be a part of this. Landon Huffman, Jeremy Mayfield, a guy that you guys may remember, is going to be a part of this race as well. So it's a really stacked field of really good drivers. Peyton Sellers, and the list goes on and on and on. And of course, Cade Brown. I mean, Cade Brown is a recent winner right there. I think it was probably back in October, a winner there at Orange County. So it's going to be a really cool Friday race that you get now coming up with the Orange Crush 200 coming up there as well. As we get ready to sign this thing off here on Thursday, just a couple of notes. Again, Cordele, you saw the spots right there. Ricky Brooks taking over the helm there at Cordele. They will be off and running. $8,000 to win with the Georgia Pro Late Model Nationals. Pretty damn good way to fire off right there when you're starting off your new regime right there at the racetrack. So that's going to be really cool to see at Cordele out in the watermelon patch. And again, my friends over at Mobile International Speedway, Eddie Shoemaker and the folks there, pro late model racing happening there. And again, you can catch all of that on Racing America. That is this weekend. I do want to mention we saw this morning, with all of the and again, a lot of thoughts and prayers to the folks over in the Baltimore area with that tragic bridge accident, the ferry accident there that happened. Just a very sad and just gut-wrenching photos and videos that you see with some of the images coming out of there. So obviously with Racing America and Dirty Air, we send, this is all fun. I mean, we have a lot of fun with this, and racing is a whole hell of a lot of fun for us with this. But every now and then when you have these things that kind of come up and hit you right in the gut, man, it sucks. It sucks. And we are definitely thinking about the folks affected by all of that tragic stuff happening there in the Baltimore area. We know that we have a lot of folks that check in up north there. So thinking about that as well. And also thinking about the family of our friend Gary Freeman, longtime Hoosier tire distributor that we saw the news this morning that he has gone to a better place. And obviously thinking about all of his family and friends and those affected by that as well. So again, lots of great racing that you're going to find throughout your Easter weekend. Again, enjoy your Easter weekend, but as I always say, find a racetrack to go to. And if you can't find a racetrack to go to, find a streamer that's going to give you great live, high definition, almost as good as being there coverage. So please be sure to do that this weekend as well. Big thanks on the show. It was really cool to talk to Kasey Kleyn, talking to him about his dive over to the southern part. And he's done them both. I mean, he did the ASA Stars series, and then he raced again with Ricky and them as well. So at the Rattler. So he's kind of getting his feet wet with the way we do things down south, and his schedule is going to have him kind of polka dotting all over the country. If you look at that as well, Kasey Kleyn Racing, be sure and check that out there on the Facebook, and you'll be able to find all of that as well. And Johnny Stokes, great conversation there with Mr. Stokes as we caught him getting ready to dive into his race car. It was our short track racing spotlight, and again, I would love to have your racetrack mentions on the 2024 Dirty Air short track racing spotlight, Dirty Air Racing Show at gmail.com. Be sure and send those tracks over, and we'll do it. Check out a couple of comments here as we're live before we dive off. Let's go right there. Go, Bubba, go. I like that a lot. Thank you, Harry, for checking in on that. I think like I said, it's a big weekend for all of us as we get one of our dudes heading out there to do what we know that Bubba Pollard can do. Put him behind the wheel of one of these great race cars, and you know that he's going to showcase the talent that he has. My man, actually from Texas, but in Germany, Magic Mike Knotts checking in as well. So thank you, Mike, for being a part of the program. Appreciate your support as well. That's a man that produces a lot of really cool dirty air and revved up decals. So if, like I said, if you happen to run across me at one of these racetracks and you're looking for some of that cool stuff, let me know. And I may have a decal for you. Again, on-demand shirts out of San Antonio, Texas, with the really cool T-shirts. Jump on there, a live store for dirty air merchandise, caps, T-shirts, the hoodies, all of that is right there. Thank you to James Cole and all of the great folks at On Demand Shirts. All right, you guys, it's Easter weekend. Find a racetrack, cheer on Bubba Pollard, and let's just enjoy this. I wanted to mention to you guys, right, moments before I came on the air. So kind of the way the show works, the show a lot of times is like with Kasey Kleyn. I had to talk to him yesterday, but when the show intros, the show is live, usually, because that's kind of when I bring you guys in and I kind of set the table for everything that's going on. Obviously, it's opening weekend for opening day for Major League Baseball. My Astros playing the Yankees had been in a really nice spot there for most of the game, and they found a way to lose that. And moments before I came on the air live at Racing America, I was just blurting out words, and I had to look, and I'm thinking, oh, my goodness, I hope that I have not clicked live because my team fell. And hopefully your team will do better. March Madness as well. But really cool stuff. Again, guys, find a racetrack. And if you can't find a racetrack, find a streamer that's going to be giving money back to that local racetrack, because short track racing is where it's all about, guys. So I'll bid you adieu one final time here on this Thursday. We are back next Thursday. We will do it again right here on Dirty Air, where the short trackers gather, is what we like to say. And always remember, clean air is good. Times like this, dirty air just a tad bit better. You guys have a great weekend. Happy Easter, and we'll see you next week right here on Dirty Air.